Walking Stick Library presents Hacienda Castilla versus the Port of Chancay with your librarian hostess with the mostest, Eileen Kramer. And remember, you can catch us live on Twitch 6 days a week.
We've been doing a lot of look-alike organizations on here, and we're going to do a look-alike that's not quite a look-alike tonight. We've been following Todd Callender forever on the stream, and the VODs disappear after a week. I have the older stuff, and we've been basically. I was curious what he did for a living because he's not selling supplements, which is common for people of his who are anti-vax. Instead, he's a lawyer. And it turns out that St. Matthew's Insurance hired him. And St. Matthew's Insurance is an insurance company for set up by Native Americans. It's not an insurance company like State Farm, but they own land. Well, you'll see how this works. Let me very quickly, I'm going to bring you up to speed because I don't think you were on all of those earlier. Let me check my squawk here. Squawk, squawk. Oh, thank you for showing up. We need a gratitude. Definitely need a gratitude. I'm going to take down my curtain. And we're going to do a very quick Google search, just so you know whom we are speaking about. And there's a little more about him. He's a lot of fun. The media pokes a lot of fun at him, but we are going to just basically show you where he makes his money, so you kind of know how this works. And this should not be that size. This should be, or color, this should be Todd Callender. Make sure I have his name spelled right. And I can do that quickly enough. We have to get him anyway, so we're going to use a piece from this anyway. This will work just fine for us. I'm not starting it. Calendar with an E. I'm not a good speller, and names get me. So, Todd Callender. And we're going to look for St. Matthew's. And you are going off the desk for right now because you're in that kind of mood, and I don't need it. We're going to use a simple and. It can be an implied and, but it isn't for us because I'm in teaching mode. We're going to bring up Google. And we're going to do Todd Callender and St. Matthew's. Bingo! Ooh, that's a new one. Securities Commission of the Bahamas. Todd Callender, Alicia Roberts. Okay, I don't know what that is. I'm going to open it up. Wow. Okay, so this is where we want to go. Actually, I'd like to get to St. Matthew's Insurance Company, period, but Zoom info will be enough to give us a rough idea of what's going on. And I don't know what this is, but boom, 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 boom. And this is his licensees. I don't know what this is. These are a bunch of companies he deals with. Classification company, individual. This is, what have I got here? Address. Let me me see if I can find what I need to find on this. Okay, he's found. Cotswold Corporate Services Limited. Corporate services for IBCs. I have no idea what an IBC is. Registration Management or Administration, acting as registered agent for Registered Office of Provision of Directors, Office of Nominees and Shareholders. Okay. So that's Cotswold. I have no idea what this is. Cotswold Corporate Services Limited. Does he show up anywhere else? Nope. But we have a new company for him as well. Anyway, Todd Callender, current workplace company, St. Matthew's Assurance. 22 Tribes Circle, Miami, Oklahoma. 17 people employed. Let me give this a click. And this is the St. Matthew's group. This is for the people for whom Todd works. And we get the about, and it's going to tell us what they do. And St. Matthew's Assurance is a tribal insurance company originally organized and licensed under the laws of the Modoc Nation. In 2023, St. Matthew's Assurance moved to the Chiricahua Apache Nation and continues to operate under modern insurance legislation adopted through the CAMB legislative process. That's Chiricahua Apache Nation. CAMB, I guess that's how they do it. I don't know where they get the M from. The positioned SMA within the growing segment of the CAMB economy, benefiting from the CAMB nation's sovereign status and protections provided by U.S. domestic and international law. Our mission is to provide comprehensive insurance solutions that offer peace of mind and financial security. We tailor our products and services to meet unique client needs, mitigating risks effectively with options like wealth protection, health coverage, retirement planning, and legacy planning. We empower clients to face uncertainties with confidence. We prioritize transparency and ethical practices, regulatory compliance as we deliver policies that provide maximum value through strong partnerships and exceptional customer service. Now, let me get some space here while I'm working. And the services they have is insurance, fiduciary service, consulting, and compliance. And if you look at their insurance, they're not State Farm. Our insurance products come with safeguards for client privacy and protection against creditors and provide benefits throughout the insured individual's lifetime. It is important to note that St. Matthew's policies do not have a cash value, and we strictly adhere to underwriting practices in accordance with local laws and overarching principles and regulations outlined in the Common Reporting Standards. We do not actively seek out new business opportunities, but instead build new client relationships exclusively through trusted intermediaries who are established, regulated, or professionally recognized. As I said, you don't come here for your car insurance, your life insurance. They're interested in dealing with businesses. Now, we got this new one, so I'm going to take a quick look and see if this has a web page. Cotswold Corporate Services Limited. I'm going to hit Control-C. All the stuff you don't commonly see, we see. Anyway, this is who we are dealing with. That's not what I want. Cotswold Financial Services Limited. Go find it. Bingo. That's one, but I don't think I got it right. This is Cotswold Corporate Services Limited. We have a look-alike. Me bad. Go find. This is the Cotswold Group. Cotswold. Ooh. Ooh. IJIC Offshore Leaks Database. The IJIC database contains information on more than 810,000 offshore entities that are part of the Pandora Papers, Paradise Papers, Bahama Leaks. We have a paper pusher here. And this comes out of the Bahama Leaks. And they are Cotswold Corporate Services Limited. And they are a bunch of these to whom they are connected. I'm looking for St. Matthews and I don't see it. Doesn't really explain very much about what they do. But they're a tax shelter, I think. Doesn't say much about them. They're an intermediary. Remember, this insurance works through intermediaries? That's what an intermediary is. And I'm not downloading data. Let's see if we can find more about this. Zoom info may give a better explanation. Oh, I hate this. This is the second time I've looked in them tonight. I want two things. Why is that so complicated? Okay. Insurance Bahamas. Another of those intermediary places. Cotswold Group of Companies offers complementary products and services to international groups and people in order to navigate and solve the complex problems of an ever-changing worldwide regulatory environment. The group's executive management team as well has 150 years experience in international commerce, having worked in leading international centers around the globe. The Cotswold Group of Companies are audited at least annually and are all supervised, blah, blah, blah. And we got our person. There he is, Todd Callender, director. So we know a little more of what he does. And that gives you something. Now, if you want to see have some fun, I'll show you who Todd Callender really is. Okay, we can have some real fun, because I just wanted to get you up to speed, and we got something new, which is kind of unusual for us. It does happen. So let's get this guy, get him over here. I'll move him in. And this time we're looking for mRNA, just to give you a feel for whom we are dealing with. And yeah, there are people who are going to make your head hurt. And he is one of them. This is another simple and search, just to get everybody up to speed tonight. I hope I'm not boring you. Okay, checking the chat squawk. Hello, where? We're talking about Todd Callender. And he is a lawyer based in Golden, Colorado. And he works with St. Matthews Insurance and Cotswold Group, both of which deal with offshoring and various kinds of corporate paper pushing. But we're going to look for Todd Callender and mRNA now to give you another side of him. The reason we're looking at Todd Callender is that when he does a show on Cloud Hub, it begins with a commercial. Okay, this is a good one. Lots of fun ones here, but this is a fun one. No, I'm not subscribing tonight. Homo borgensis. Here are unfounded claims COVID-19 vaccinated are no longer human. This is the guy. If you've gotten a COVID mRNA vaccine and like being human, an attorney named Todd Callender has some bad news for you. He indicated that you may no longer be human. Yes, you heard that correctly. That's what Todd Callender and other social media influencer Maria Z, with 4 Z's after her name, claimed in an interview that's been shared on October 9th's Instagram post and October 6th's Twitter post thousands of times. Instagram has labeled the post false information, reviewed by independent fact checkers, but Twitter hasn't done so. Callender proclaimed that COVID-19 mRNA vaccines altered your genes to the point where you are no longer human. What have you become then? An enormous hedgehog? A cat who wears shoes? Are you Dancer, as the song by The Killers goes? No, Callender asserts that you may be Homo borgensis. And this is a copy of that. In the interview, Callender told Z Homo borgensis is the species they have named vaccinated people without identifying exactly who they are. He continued saying genetically modified people are now referred to as Homo borgensis, not Homo sapiens. You can see it in the very first, I think it's the second page of NASA's Langley research paper. Okay, and if we go back here, I can get this up on Instagram. No issues. Here he is. I don't know
who are
why.
no longer Homo sapiens. In fact, they renamed them Homo borgenesis. So what human rights does a Homo borgenesis have? Homo borgenesis is the species that they have named vaccinated people, and I use the term vaccinated loosely. The genetically modified people are now referred to as Homo borgenesis, not Homo sapiens.
Okay, all right. Is everybody's nose bleeding? He's crazy as a freaking fox. And I could laugh at him sometimes because his technical abilities and his ability to hire somebody with technical abilities are just not there. Now, we're going to look at his company, and we're going to look at a rival company. And the companies are Hacienda Castilla. That's a company that is owned by St. Matthew's Insurance, where Todd Callender is one of the managers, versus the Port of Chancay, China. I don't know if you were on when we did Belt and Road, but you'll see that there is a deepwater port off the coast of Peru. Hacienda Castilla is going to be a deepwater port off the coast of Chile. So I'm going to get some space on my board here. Let me get Cloud Hub, and any of these will do the job right now. Actually, I got Cloud Hub right here. Any of these will do the job. We're not going to watch the whole video, folks. We're just going to watch the commercial, because that's the fun part.
Project Archimedes, in conjunction with law firm Disabled Rights Advocates, is leading a groundbreaking worldwide action against the United States government, focusing on the impacts of 5G, EMF, and other unexplained phenomena, including what's known as Havana Syndrome.
We're dealing with energy weapons, permanent brain injuries.
Okay, wrong vid. They stopped that commercial. We'll have to find another one. That's not so hard. Let's get what he's got. If I can't find it, we can do something else. Okay. He runs Cloud Hub, and technically it's a real pain in the tail. Okay, let's view more. Do I have anything by him that's older? No, I don't. crud. There's another way to get to him fast. This is his also. I do check on him regularly. Okay, videos, and this is the wrong way around. We're going to Rumble. But we can get any of his from anywhere. We just need I need one that's old enough that it's going to have the right commercial on it. This one's got the right commercial. Let's go. Yep, this is the right commercial. Sorry about that. He changed commercials.
Will you build a home or a hotel, a traditional farm or a server farm? Introducing Hacienda Castilla. St. Matthew's Assurance presents a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Over 800 square miles of pristine, uninhabited coastal property in central Chile, ready for industrial, business, and residential development. Hacienda Castilla features almost unlimited open spaces and some of the most beautiful beaches in South America. With parcels ranging from 20 acres to over 200 acres, Hacienda Castilla will be adjacent to Copiaport-E, the deepest natural port in all of South America. Experience future-forward development limited only by your imagination. What will you create at Hacienda Castilla?
Okay, folks. You've seen it. Now we're going to go find it. And it has its own web page. Voila! Here we are. And if you work your way down here, you'll get to Copiaport-E. They pronounce it A. I guess the lady had a slight Spanish accent. Looks good, doesn't it? If you've seen this before, you know where it's heading, but we'll check up on it anyway. It's been I check every 6 weeks or so. Okay, this is going to be about halfway down the coast of Chile in the Atacama Desert. And people do live in the Atacama Desert. These are all stock photos. And you get down here, they're going to be able to take it's going to have a natural draft of 30 meters, that's 90 feet. It can accommodate China-Max and Cape-sized vessels. So the depth here is 30 meters, 90 feet, and okay, so it's naturally very, very deep. And then they have a whole bunch of stuff here. Get a little further down, they're going to be able to do bulk. They're going to have a hydrogen mill, saves 15 days, and you can take connects to, where are we? And it connects to highways over the Andes, low-grade highways over the Andes. So that much we have. I'm leaving some of this out. And I'll show you who is the owner here. Okay. Should say who is doing it. About. And if we go and we get the leadership, you'll see who runs it. Okay. That's the person running it, but it doesn't say who really owns it. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Aha! Hacienda Castilla and the development engineering company Copiaport-E Operación Maritime S.P.A. are fully owned by St. Matthew Assurance Limited since 2019. So there we are, there's your connection. So I'm going to put that in as the ownership. St. Matthew Assurance So we know who owns that. And it's in, and we'll get the actual location too. Property, it should show where it is, down here. This is on Route 5, Santiago is further south. These roads lead over the Cordillera. Right here, I can show this on a map a lot better. It's near Copiaport, Chile. And if you zoom in, you can see this little finger sticking up. That's where we have to go, Copiaport, Chile. Okay, maps, for those of us who are geographically ignorant. I bet I've been here before. Yep, right there. That's the city of Copiaport. And if you travel down Route 5 to this little point over here, there it is, Hacienda Castilla. And over here, this little green spot, that's going to be the port. And you can see that it's, good distance from anything. This northern part of Chile is all Atacama Desert. You hit the Andes along here, very high mountains, and on the other side there's jungle. That's how this works. But this is in that very remote northern region of Chile. And it's on the ocean, and it's a natural breakwater. Okay, so that's what we've got. Except, we want to find out about it. So what we're going to do is, we're going to do two things. The best way to do this is we can go to news and newspapers and type that in. We can also type in that. So this is an OR search. And if we diagrammed it, it would be, I like to diagram these things because that's how I'm thinking. And again, in some parts of the world, people learn this, and in some they don't. And the traditional way to do it is to color in two circles, which ends up getting really sloppy. So I like to make a broken plate and put the pieces together. And in here we have it doesn't matter who's top and bottom. Here we have Copiaport-E. And we'll slide that in. This is, because this is or it's pulling them together. And the place we're going to look for this is news and newspapers, because they have the biggest collection of newspapers. We're also going to want to have Google Translate up. So I'm going to set that up, because a lot of what we find will not be in English. It just won't be. Let's go to GSU Library. Now, we could do this in Google News. Possibility there. But newspapers, a lot of them are paywalled. So I'm just not thrilled with that idea. So let's go down here to N. Let's click News and Newspapers. Okay. And we're going to do Hacienda Castilla or Copiaport-E. And we did this last about 6 weeks ago. Oh, excellent. So this is the kind of stuff we get. Now, this isn't going to be in English, and that's fine, because we don't have a translator here, but we have Google Drive that will translate. And that's what we want right over here. And we're going to translate from Spanish to English. And here we are. Complying with indigenous consultation will not be the last challenge for the already delayed Copiaport-E project, the ecological port in the Atacama region owned by the Chiricahua Apache Nation. In addition to its delay in the Environmental Assessment Service, SEA, because remember this is a Spanish-speaking country, so it's Service Environmental Assessment. I don't speak Spanish, I do read French, which they claim has been extended for 5 years. The land where the port will be located would be in the middle of a trial, given that the Portales succession, represented by the Despacier Portales family, claimed to be the true owners. The problem is that when the U.S. company bought the project in 2019, it did not acquire the land where the port will be located. They claim, but rather it was left in the hands of Brazilian businessman Ike Batista, who sold the port project. Nicholas Winters, president of Copiaport-E, maintains, however, that we are the absolute legal owners of this land, and we have had physical possession. These are the same litigants who filed 3 unfounded cases in an effort to pressure the Chiricahua Apache Nation to hand over the land they legitimately acquired. The disputed area, Punta de Cachos, has been in litigation since 2013 in the First Court of Copao, and would advance to the Court of Appeals due to an overlap of titles in the area in which Copiaport-E is intended to be located. After 11 years, the case has resumed its judicial process in 2024, and today, in the middle of the evidentiary stage, the descendants of Portales begin expert appraisals to demonstrate the limits of their possession. This was several months ago. The case is called Despacier with Furcan and pits Ike Furcan Batista against the Despacier Portales family, who claim ownership and rights to the Hacienda La Justa, who owns the title dating back to 1912, registered in the Copao registry. Yeesh, folks. And this is not, there's only, how many do I have? I have 121. It would be nice to get the most current, so I'm going to very quickly put the most recent first. November 10th. So nothing has moved. And you can see here another one. And again, we have to grab it from inside, and I won't give you all of it, but I kind of knew some of this was happening when I set this up tonight. I wanted to see if anything had happened that was new, though. 5 years and US $13 million have been invested so far in the Copiaport-E project, the green megaport in the Atacama region, which was expected to begin construction in July of 2024, but could extend its startup until June 2025 for a new deadline to develop an indigenous consultation. See, the area is not uninhabited. It is discouraging, says Nicholas Winters, president of Copiaport-E. When we started this project, we understood that the regulatory process would take only 2 years and a third of the money we have spent. Needless to say, it is difficult for any business to deal with these kinds of delays and cost overruns, even taking into account relevant margin. We have collected, analyzed, and presented a large amount of environmental and social data, answering each question and problem with abundant documentary evidence to address any concerns. What does the extension deadline until 2025 imply? It is terribly frustrating news because it creates additional unnecessary difficulties for the reasons mentioned above. We are a protected investor class according to Chile's current international treaty obligations, so these delays that increase costs, loss of goodwill, and opportunities only serve to discourage others seeking investment opportunities in Chile and in our project. The Copiaport-E is owned by the Chiricahua Apache Nation through St. Matthew Insurance and is the only project they are developing outside the United States. The port involves the construction and operation of a maritime terminal between the communes of Caldera and Copayo, specifically in the Punta Cachos sector, and represents an investment of $450 million. The port will be used for the reception, storage, recovery, and shipment of clean bulk such as corn, wheat, and soybeans from Argentina, unloading of fertilizers, and transfer of containers and general cargo. And recently, the Environmental Assessment Service of the Atacama region, so that's Service Environmental Atacama, Servicio Environmental Atacama, I guess, extended the suspension of the deadline for the environmental impact study assessment procedure until June 30th, 2017, and then 2025, since a new indigenous consultation project is required, as it detected that the project would generate direct impact on the human groups belonging to the indigenous peoples. So, still not shovel ready. So we're going to put that on our list. Okay. So that's it. Number of ships served, none. There's no port. Okay, so we kind of know what we've got on this side. Now let's look at the competitor. And that's the port of Chancay. We found this last night. So this is all new ones. Well, I didn't see it either. We've been busy doing, again, I had to get nosy to find this. Again, I kept bumping into Todd Callender and like, how does this guy make his money? Because he's suing everybody, but he's not charging anything. So what can we do, right? You know, the guy's suing people right and left, but it costs money to sue. And he's not taking money. So where's the money coming from? So that's what got me curious. So now let's look for a different port. And we'll start with Wikipedia. And we already have this search down. Where is everything from last night? I think it's over here. I could be wrong. Let me just make another one. Let me see if I have it from last night. No, I've got this right here. Okay, let's look for the Chancay Megaport in Wikipedia. That's our next step. Because we want to see the competitor right over here. So let's go to Google. I'm going to run this over. Chancay Megaport and Wikipedia. Bingo! Now, we can get a look on a map. This is up in Peru, and it's really near Lima, about 45 miles from Lima. And if you look, way down here, that's Copiaport-E, which has not been built yet. And up here, we've got near Lima, we've got the port of Chancay. There it is. Now you know. Okay, the port of Chancay is a shipping terminal located in Chancay, Peru. It was developed by Casco Shipping Ports Chancay, Peru, S.A., a corporation made up by Chinese state-owned shipping and logistics company Casco Shipping Ports in association with Peruvian company Vulcan. Okay, got our first one. And we got our second one. Chancay, Peru, near Lima. And this is Casco, is it two S's? No, Shipping Ports Yeah. Nice piece of Belt and Road, folks. It's considered a private port for public services. And the idea got off the ground in 2017. And here we have it. In 2019, Volcano Mining and Costco Shipping announced the execution of a commercial partnership agreement to advance the project. The involvement of the Chinese enterprise facilitated the reconstruction and expansion of the project, encompassing a new design, engineering, development, and building operation of a substantial port complex with a total expenditure of $3 billion, expected to reach $3 billion. Following Costco Shipping Port's capital infusion, the business acquired a 60% stake in the project, but Peru's Volcano Mining businesses diluted to 40%. Also, the company was renamed from Chancay Port Terminals to Costco Shipping Ports Chancay, Peru, SA. The first stage of the port was finished by the end of 2024. The port was inaugurated on November 14th, 2024. So it's taken ships. Chinese leader Xi Jinping and Peruvian President Dina Boluarte subsequent to the met, and they had a ceremony online subsequent to the issuance of directive by the two chiefs of state to commence port operations. So they've been in business for 3 months. Been in business for 3 months. Okay. And the first expansion rate, in the first expansion phase, around 1 million containers can be handled per year. So how many ships? Okay. And it has a natural draft of 17.8 meters. So it's only about half as deep as Copiaport. About 52.5 feet. So it's a little less deep. And it has an interconnecting tunnel to the Pan American Highway. We can look and see if anybody in the news has noticed it. No, that's not the real logo. I just put it on there to emphasize who we're playing with. And I guess Todd wants to compete with the Chinese, but they're eating his lunch. We could take a look at this. And again, all we have to do is stick in Chancay Megaport. Let's go to news and newspapers. Back to results, and we can try Chancay Megaport and see how we do. That's all, and I'm not even going to put it in stuff. I just want to see how we do, because it's worth a look. Ooh. Lots of things that I didn't expect we would see. These are wire feeds. I don't want wire feeds. I want real newspapers. And we're set up right now to be most recent. I'd like the relevant. And we want, I'm just going to make this the most recent. Okay, Peru megaport to open opportunities for Vietnam's import-export logistics. U.S. downplays impact as China and Peru set to update trade pact and open megaport. And this one's in English. As China and Peru prepare to sign an updated free trade agreement at this year's Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit, President Xi Jinping is set to inaugurate a Chinese-financed megaport in Peru, known as Chancay, and they did it 9 days after this article, while attending APEC meetings. China promotes the Chancay port on Latin America's Pacific coast as a key hub to boost trade connectivity with South America. The plan includes using infrastructure projects to link Chancay, reducing shipping times for goods. A senior U.S. official downplayed the port's implications for the United States, stating that it does not, I don't need this slop. Get rid of it. A senior U.S. official downplayed the port's implications for the United States, stating that it does not complicate U.S. relations in the region and that it is natural for Latin American companies to have diverse trade and investment partnerships beyond the U.S. Matt Murray, the U.S. senior official for APEC, spoke to Voice of America on Wednesday from Lima, Peru, outlining the U.S. agenda for this year's APEC meetings. This interview has been edited for brevity and clarity. Okay. And People's Daily Beijing. Chancay port a vindication for China, Peru, win-win. Cooperation under Belt and Road Initiative. You can't do better. As the 2024 APEC gathering will commence soon in Peru, the Chancay port, located in north of Lima, Peru's capital, is constructed by a Chinese company, is also set open for business. The Chancay port, an important infrastructure in Latin America under the China proposed Belt and Road Initiative, will transform Peru into a major trade hub in the region. The port is expected to produce a broad economic impact, helping open new trade routes and enhance the competitiveness of Latin America as a whole, analysts said. The flagship project puts pragmatic cooperation between China and Peru into full display, illustrating China's commitment to working with Peru and other Latin American and Caribbean countries to seek coast prosperity, they noted. Peru's President Dina Boluarte in July said that the megaport will serve as a nerve center to facilitate connection between South America and Asia, the Xinhua news agency reported. The port, scheduled to be inaugurated in November, will open investment opportunities for the development of infrastructure for all countries that see Peru as a point of connection to access the giant Asian market. Yikes. And we've got a few more here. Let's see if the New York Times covered this. I can get publication titles in here. And again, you won't see much in the American news. New Zealand, Hawke's Bay, Financial Times, let's include them. Telegraph, Co-UK. I was hoping to get the New York Times. New York Times didn't even bother covering this. So let's grab these two and see what happened in the Western press. Oh boy, a new Monroe Doctrine is unlikely to work for the U.S. and South America. Donald Trump wants to roll back China's growing footprint in Latin America. He isn't above strong-arm tactics to do it. Just see the latest demand to reassume control of the Panama Canal, which a senior Trump appointee afterwards suggested was really about pushing back against China. But if, or rather when, the pressure does come bearing down, don't expect all of Latin America to respond the same way. Instead, be prepared for the region to divide less along ideological lines than geographic ones, into a northern half more tightly welded to Washington and a southern half likely to drift, especially if pushed towards Beijing. Many believe Washington needs a positive agenda to compete effectively with China, carrots and not just sticks, like expanded access to markets in the U.S. and more abundant development financing, and they're right. Well, we just cut U.S. aid, folks. But assume for a moment that threats remain. Trump's lingua franca, ones like he proposed 60% tariffs on all goods passing through the now Chinese-owned operated megaport of Chancay in Peru, or 200% tariffs on Mexican-made cars, which Trump fears China could exploit as a backdoor to the U.S. market. Threats only work when they're backed by leverage, but the U.S.'s leverage is not only distributed across the region, it's not evenly distributed across the region. In Mexico and much of Central America and the Caribbean, Washington still holds most of the cards. Mexico still sends 80% of its exports to the U.S., for instance. But head to South America and the picture changes. China is the continent's top trading partner, while 5 Latin American countries most indebted to China, and 4 of the 5 that have received the most Chinese FDI are in South America. Well, we know what's going on. I'm going to put a save on this. More to come. And I can take this out. I thought we might need an extra, but we really don't. Let's keep this for a while. We can come back to it one day. Thank you for watching. And remember, you can catch me live on Twitch.